Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Kirby 64 The Crystal Shards. In the last episode we completed Popstar, and in this episode we're going to be moving on to the second level, Rockstar. It's a very deserty level it looks like. Let's go ahead and jump into the first area. Yes, it's very deserty. Lots of cactuses, enemies here with lots of spikes, and fire. Let's go ahead and show off the fire power-up. I don't think we've done that yet. Very simple. Same fire power-up that's been in every Kirby game. You charge forward, run into things, set them on fire, and kill them. Those cactuses will give you the needle power-up, but I don't think we need to use that right now. There we go. You have to stay on your toes in the desert. There'll be enemies coming at you from all sides. Ouch. There you go. These enemies here, they'll just pop up once you get close to them. Easy to avoid enough. Let's go ahead and head inside. It's like we found ourselves a temple of some sort. Instead of going down to where those Bronto birds are, let's go ahead and fly up here instead. There's also these eyeball things that pound the ground, but there's a crystal up here, so we might as well stay up here. These things act sort of like thwomps do in Mario. Well, they'll crush you if they get the chance. Let's get rid of our fire power-up for now and switch to a rock power-up. There we are. Yes, as I said before, rock can be used very much like it can in Super Smash Bros., where you smash something from above, or you can walk forward for a short while, though you can't jump while you're in rock form. Let's go ahead and head up here through the top of the temple and find ourselves a small mini-boss. Just use the exploding debris from Kirby's rock transformation and defeat the mini-boss and take his crystal shard. Let's go ahead and head outside again. Oh, it looks like we found ourselves in a vertical chamber of some sort that looks like it's slowly filling up with sand. You better run for it, Kirby. You don't want to be smothered in sand. Because even though Kirby is tough, I don't think he'll be able to survive suffocation. Maybe he'll just starve to death. That might happen as well. Avoid the cactus and continue heading upward. See, even the cactus enemies are crushed by this weight of the sand coming down. All of these giant faces in the walls and the floors open up. Uh-oh. It doesn't seem like there's any farther up to go, and we're trapped. The sand just keeps rising, and... Oh, hello, Waddle Dee. You saved us. Thank you. And he's gone. But we got out of there just in time for the sand to fill up. And look here, we've got a block that's brown, like our rock power-up, and yellow, like the spark power-up. But I haven't seen a spark power-up. I hope we find one soon. These enemies here, they're very much like boos in Mario, where if you turn your back on them, they'll charge you. But unlike most enemies in this game, you can't inhale them. So you just more or less have to avoid them. Stay out of their way as much as you can, because they're harder to kill than a lot of the other enemies in this game. And aha! There's a spark power-up. There, leave me alone. I want to get this. There we are. This is actually one of the most useful power-ups in the game, even though it seems like such an odd combination. This is the Tether Rock, where you fire off a rock connected to Kirby's body by a tether of electricity. Kirby can still use all of his abilities except for his flying. But the rock itself, as well as the tether, will do damage and kill any enemy that gets in its path. And using it, we can collect that third crystal shard. Very useful. That's going to be what a lot of the later levels in this game have, are areas with combination powers that you're going to need to get to be able to get all of the crystal shards in each level. And it looks like we've got some sort of cactus piranha plants in the background here to bite us, but we can avoid them. They aren't very smart. They're only plants after all. Plants don't have any brains. Go ahead and send that Gordo flying upward. You can press B to cause the tether rock to explode, and ouch! Which means that it'll allow you to jump again. Go ahead and head out here to the right. And we found ourselves a picnic. Let me see. I'm going to jump for the 1-up, since I started a new playing session, which means that I lost all the 1-ups that I had in the previous play session. But you spend so little time dying in this game that it doesn't really matter how many 1-ups you have. Looks like we're going on to another level, a set of ruins. This level actually has some of my favorite music in this entire game. A lot of the music in this game is good, in all honesty, but there are some tracks that I definitely like better than others, and oh my! An axe. I believe that axe would give us the cutter power, but since it is such a worthless ability, unless it's used in a combination, it really isn't worth it to swallow him. Go ahead and use our tether rock to clear the way for us. I don't remember exactly what those enemies there that you can turn your backs on are called, but I do know that they are very annoying. Those pigs, like you see down there, they'll be a constant presence throughout several of these levels, because they'll come, if you don't move fast enough through the level, they come from behind you and try to chase you down and kill you. Thankfully, though, you can just jump to avoid them. They can't jump as high as you can. It looks like we've got some rocks falling on us from above, but as long as we keep walking, they won't hurt us. See? This game is very pleasant and very easy to just stroll through. There's very little urgency needed about it. And then these enemies here are also like boos, where if you turn your back on them, they'll attack you. And just like the other ones, they cannot be inhaled, so you have to kill them using a power of some sort, or by spitting another enemy into them. Let's go ahead and head up here into a 1-up. Very useful. Thank you. Yes, as I said, Tether Rock is definitely one of the most useful power-ups in this game, especially for just clearing out enemies. Then we can head down here and fall through the floor there and find another crystal shard. First of this level, I think. Let's go ahead and head up here and back to the right again. That's more or less the name of this game, at least at this point, is just to head to the right at all times. Most of the time you'll find your way to the end of the level that way. Later levels will get a little bit more complicated. Looks like we have some ghosts here. They're throwing fire at us. And there's also a crystal shard down here. Grab it, Kirby. See, even though Kirby does have limited flight in this game, he still can fly for more than long enough to be able to escape death in most situations. It's more... You have to be more worried about being crushed by enemies or falling objects. There's a Maxim tomato. Let's grab that. There we are. Let's see. Found another temple, it looks like. Let's go ahead and hop across these platforms. No reason to go down in the water. There's no crystal shard down there. And then there's this part. This will take you off guard because it's the first really dangerous death trap you have in this game. These platforms that want to squish you against the ceiling. Yikes. Be careful, Kirby. Even Kirby won't survive being squished, even though you think he might. He's soft, but he's not completely... well, not completely squishable, I should say. He isn't a marshmallow. He can't be flattened and then regain his shape. Continue heading to the right, up onto the top of the ruins here. Use our tether rock to clear the way. Avoid the Shatzos from the background. That purple floating enemy there would have given us the freeze power if we'd so chosen to swallow it. There's a Bronto Burt there that'll try to swoop down and get you. We've already got an extra life because of all the stars we've been collecting. And there's just so many more things to do here. I love Tether Rock, one of the best powers in the game. There are several that I like more, but it's definitely one of the most useful, and hello King DDD. He offers to give us a bit of a bit of a hand here, because you see Kirby wouldn't be able to break these walls down, but thanks to King DDD's giant hammer, we can make our way through this maze, smashing all the walls in our way without much trouble. It's just a matter of finding everything that's down here for us to find, namely Crystal Shard and the exit, as well as stars if we so chose to gather them. But since we already have 5 lives, we don't really need to get them right now. We already have full health as well, so things like sandwiches aren't going to be as much use to us either. There's the Crystal Shard we need to find, but how do we get to it? We have to find our way through this maze. So go ahead and continue climbing upward. It looks like we need to come at it from the left side, so let's climb downward and see if we can find a way over to the left. Go. This is what we were looking for. Oh, watch out for the fire, King DDD. Even you wouldn't be able to withstand those sort of flames. Here we are. Oh, and I fell. Clumsy me. There we are. Come on now, King DDD. There you are. I knew you could make that jump. And there's another Crystal Shard for us. I told you wouldn't be able to stand up to those flames, DDD. You know those robes of yours are very flammable. Let's go ahead and continue our climb upward and out towards the exit. That enemy there will give us the spark power-up if we didn't already have it. But since we already have our tether rock, we don't really need another power-up, and besides, we wouldn't be able to gather it as King DDD anyway. And King DDD has taken us all the way out to the end of the level. Thank you very much, King DDD. Let's go ahead and try for this one up here. There we are. Hooray, Kirby's happy. Looks like we have enough time for one more level here. Down in the bottom of a cave, it looks like. Let's head over to the left here very quickly and see... Ah yes, there's some cake for us. Very good. And let's head back to the right. Let's see what we have to do here. These skull-like enemies here. They aren't much threat. Some flame dragons, just as we faced before. And these, I don't know what those are. Ouch. Let me see. Ah, yes, here we are. This area could only be broken if you had the rock power-up, which you had to bring in from another level. There aren't any rock power-ups in this part of this level, and you can't come back from a later area. So you need to have the rock power-up before you come to this level to be able to collect this Crystal Shard. Continue using our tether rock to clear the way. You can ignore those enemies because, well, they can't hit us. We're too fast. Let's go ahead and head down here into the sand. Now we have a choice here. We can go left or we can go right. One area, they'll both lead to the same place, but one of them has a Crystal Shard, and I can't exactly remember which one is which. Let me think. We're going to try this one, and if we don't find it, we can always come back another time. Oh, I chose the wrong one. See, there's the Crystal Shard up there. It looks like we're going to have to come back to this level. Oh well. See, here they give you stars, but it's still no Crystal Shard. Just head across this area. Let's go ahead and get the cold power up. Why not? Our tether rock has already proven itself to be quite useful. And there's some antlions down there. You don't want to fall down in that. The cold power up is quite, I wouldn't call it very useful, but it is quite useful in some cases. It allows you to freeze enemies and turn them into blocks of ice, which you could then use as platforms, or you can send flying. In some cases you can use those platforms, not very often. Most of the time you shouldn't have to worry about that since Kirby can fly. It's more about using the enemies that you just frozen as projectiles. Let's go ahead and fall down in here into this hole. Where a waterfall spits us out into a nice little pool here in this cave. I wonder what could have created those big bones. It must have been some very large creatures living in this desert before. It's a good thing that none of them are around anymore. See, there's that spider enemy that Adeline, when she was possessed, she drew that and she caused it to attack us. Ouch. For that, you'll be frozen and sent away. We'll go ahead and drop down here into the water. Collect these stars on our way in. And this is our first underwater area of the game. This is actually going to be quite common later on. There's an entire world that takes place more or less completely underwater. Though underwater controls are fairly simple, Kirby falls automatically in the water, and you just press A to swim upward, just as you do when flying. Only unlike flying, you can fly as long as you want. You press down on the D-pad to sink a little bit faster, which will enable you to avoid attacks like these fish here. Go ahead and head over here to the right, in another part of the cave. There we go. Swimming upward to Kirby. And oh my! Something's falling down on us from above. I can't tell if those are bones or very sharp rocks, but either way, we don't want them to hit us. Oh, do your best, Kirby. There we go. Now we want to... If those rocks are falling on us from above, there must be... Ah, I thought so. They must have been sent to protect something. If you get caught, you'll lose a bit of health, but if you do get stuck on them, you may... And they may end up sinking you all the way down to the bottom of the lake. And that's too deep for even Kirby to swim. Let's go ahead and head to the right here. And we found ourselves another picnic. Ah, joy. Let's collect this one up here, shall we? Why not? Oh, never mind. We're going to collect the enemy card instead. And let me see. Ah yes, that's just about enough time for this episode. In the next episode, well, first of all, we're going to be going back here to get that crystal shot that we missed, and then we're going to be going on to the next level. Alright, so I'll see you all next time on Let's Play Kirby 64 The Crystal Shards. Good night, everyone.